Hey everyone, I'm really sorry it took this long to get to this video. There's a couple reasons for that, but I'll get into that a little later on. Let's get right into the update here. So, 2024 was a bit of a weird year. It was, overall, one of the best years for the channel ever. In fact, in terms of raw numbers, it was, yet again, the best year ever. But honestly, I don't think it really had all that much to do with anything that I actually did this past year. 2024 was a year that I decided to take a bit of a break from doing full franchise deep dives and dipped my toes into a few games that I had wanted to talk about that wouldn't have happened at all if I were only focusing on full big franchises. First up was Baten Kaitos, Eternal Wings, and the Lost Ocean, and I kinda decided to take this direction for 2024 pretty much exclusively because I wanted to cover this game. It means a lot to me, and I think it really comes across in the video itself. Honestly, this may be my best video in 2024. I put so much work into it, you don't even know, seriously. But that does bring me to one of the main things I wanted to go over here. There has been a bit of a trend in my videos over the past several years that I'm sure many people here have noticed, and I have felt pretty significantly. The fact that the videos have gotten longer and longer and longer. I've never really made super short videos, but for the most part up until this past year or so, the majority of my videos were able to comfortably sit below the hour mark. However, in 2023 and especially last year, things have kinda ballooned out of control, and I know I'm the one to blame for that, but looking back at 2024 is making me want to reevaluate a few things in my process. For instance, when I set out to make my videos in 2024, I had a bunch of games that I was planning on making videos for. I had like 8 games lined up, but of them I only managed to make videos for 4 of them, those being Baten Kaitos 1 and 2, Donkey Kong 94, and Neo: The World Ends With You. But as the year went on and the projects I was working on ended up taking longer and longer, I unfortunately ran into a situation where I kinda just had to shelve many of those video ideas. Now, these are videos that I still do want to do, but at this point I feel like I kind of just have to move on and focus on other things. Maybe I'll get to them, maybe I won't, but ultimately I see this situation as a bit of a sign that I should change up my approach for the near future, at least. Up until now, the vast majority of games I've been making videos on have been massive RPGs, and the way I've covered things has ended up taking a very, very long time. I've said this before, but I'll point it out again for people who don't really know, that I have a personal policy for any game that I cover, and this is probably not the norm, but I don't just beat a game once and then write a script for a video. My first playthrough for a game is to get my first impressions, get a general vibe for things, see what I like and what I don't. But as soon as I finish that first playthrough, I do a second. This is the playthrough that you'll typically see when you watch my videos, and I approach those playthroughs with certain things in mind. If there was anything in particular I didn't like about the game in that first playthrough, I dig deeper into it and try to figure out what I didn't like and why. On top of a deeper examination, I kind of do this as a bit of a sanity check. I could just be playing the game wrong. I have blind spots. I could miss nuances in mechanics that I glossed over in the first playthrough. I could have misunderstood the purpose of certain things, and more than anything, I want to be fair when I cover games, so I always give them a second chance to impress or not. As you can probably figure out, when the games I play take 40 plus hours to beat even once, doing that multiple times for each game adds a ton of extra time to the process. That's like 2 full work weeks worth of time spent just playing the game to prepare myself to start writing a script, and that gets extremely draining. It only got worse when the videos ended up well beyond the hour mark as well, and yeah, it definitely hit a bit of a breaking point in 2024. When videos break the hour mark, the time it takes to edit can skyrocket, taking weeks or longer to complete. Like, I started working on the video for Neo: The World Ends With You in July, and I didn't finish it until late October. That's no good for anybody, frankly. For one, it means extra long breaks in between videos for all of you, which can seem like I'm just disappearing for months on end, even if I basically never stop working, and obviously it takes a toll on me as well. It's kinda stressful working on something for months at a time, and I'm not even talking about the possible audience reaction to a video. Simply spending that much time on anything starts to weigh on me, and I'm starting to fear that it could start to impact the quality of the content I put out. The problem is, I don't want the solution to just be taking more time in between videos. While yeah, that could lighten the load on me, I don't think it would be a solution that I'd be satisfied with in the long term. Like, I could hire somebody to do editing and stuff for me, but I'm not anywhere near rich enough to have that make any sense, so I need a bit of a different approach. I also want to try to experiment with how I approach making my videos as well. I started a new editing workflow with the Neo The World Ends With You video, and I think that's going to do a lot of good, but I also want to make some changes earlier in the process. You may not know this, but up until now, I've never made any notes before going into writing a script. Everything I have said has been straight from what I remember and what I see from my footage, and while there is some benefit to that, my scripts do feel fairly authentic, and that comes from being less rigidly structured. But that does lead to some struggles, and I imagine if I did a little bit more preparation before writing, I'd be able to do so quicker and easier. So I'm going to experiment with some more active note-taking during the process for my videos this year. And on that note, here's kind of what I want to do for the rest of 2025. My goal is to actually do what I had planned to do at the start of 2023, to hopefully make shorter videos that I can produce in less time, and in a manner that allows me to effectively have a bit of a backlog built up. I want to have multiple videos complete at any one point throughout the year once I start releasing them, so I can attempt to release videos more consistently with less stress on me. And I figured that one of the best ways to do all that was to focus on a series of games that aren't quite as long as your average massive RPG. So without further ado, here's what I decided on for my next series, that will likely carry me all the way through 2025 and even into 2026. So yeah, Metroid is going to be the next retrospective series for this channel, and I'm really excited to tackle it, especially since it seems like plenty of you wanted me to, and I am happy to oblige. This is going to be a weird one in a few ways too, because while I do have experience with many of these games, I haven't played them all, so it'll be a mix of exploring something new and analyzing things that I mostly love. I don't want to give any timeline as to when the first video is going to be out. It has been in the works for quite a while, but it kind of went on the back burner when Brothership came out. Speaking of which, that game is probably the main source of growth for the channel this year. Anyone here from that video or that announcement, welcome. Yeah, I'm really surprised that I did get as much growth this year because, yeah, the games I focused on are relatively obscure. Like, the Batten Kaitos Origins video has passed 1,000 views, and I am shocked. While the channel didn't quite hit the 10,000 subscriber mark that I was hoping for, I'm not even close to disappointed. I'm still just completely blown away that so many people even like my videos. The Bowser's Inside Story video has blown past 100,000 views. That's seriously insane, and I have all of you to thank for that. I'm so grateful to all of you for joining me on all of my little journeys. Thank you so much. I especially want to thank my Patreon members. You all go above and beyond what I could ever ask for. It really does mean the world to me, and I'm going to continue to try to get you more because you deserve it. I've got plans, and I'm going to do my best to make sure they happen, so stay tuned. And now, let's get to the part of the video that nobody but me cares about, a general life update. What I've been doing, what I've been playing, that sort of thing. So if you watched my mid-year update video, I talked about how I was trying to lose weight and my goals for that. I had been struggling with my health for a while, but 2024 is the year that everything finally started to stick. I had lost about 30 pounds by mid-July, and since then I've dropped another 35, so I'm pretty much exactly where I had hoped I would be at this point in my journey, as you could probably see from my Brothership video in comparison to, say, my Batten Kaitos video. Now, like I said in that previous video, this is taking a lot of time and effort on my part. As of now, I'm spending about an hour and a half at the gym 4 to 5 days a week, and that obviously cuts into my video making time. That being said, it's definitely what I would consider worth my time. I enjoy it, and I'm feeling better than I have in many, many years, so I have no intention of cutting back. On the topic of things I enjoy, I haven't had quite as much time to just play games as I would have liked this past year, so I decided that this January was going to be a bit of a decompression month for me. That's one of the reasons why it took so long for me to get this update video out. I don't want to say that I'm taking a break from making videos or anything. I have been working on things here and there, but I wanted a bit of time for just myself, and I figured since I just released a big review on Brothership, and January sucks for YouTube in general, that this would be the best time to do that. I'll be getting back into the swing of things in full force soon, but I really needed this, and I think it's going to be good for my productivity and my mental health as a whole this coming year. And with that, I think that's pretty much everything that I needed to talk about for this update video. The next thing you all see from me is going to be the first video in the Metroid retrospective series, and I hope that by time that comes out, out, things will be moving pretty smoothly with the channel for the next little while. Now, with the Switch 2 coming out this year, there may be a swath of new things I'll need to talk about, but we'll cross that bridge when I get to it. For now, that's it for me. Thank you all so much for watching.